And something that I think a lot of people have a lot of anxiety and maybe even fear about is this idea that you can't be exposed to anything. Like it has to be completely gone. And if it's not, you're going to stay sick or your treatments aren't going to work or whatever. And admittedly, you know, about a decade ago, that's what I thought too, because that's what all the doctors said, right? Because they were still learning all this. This is still so new in the grand scheme of understanding all of this. And over that time period from then to now, there's been a lot of learning, and the learning essentially is saying that like not every single person needs zero exposure, and probably the majority don't need zero exposure. And it's just about understanding like where the individual is in terms of what they can handle, and just trying to get the internal load of exposure just a bit below that, which will allow their body to kind of breathe for a second, not constantly be in the sympathetic nervous system state, which is fight or flight all the time. If you're in fight or flight all the time, your body doesn't have the chance to heal and do restorative processes. So it allows your body to kind of balance, and then it allows your practitioner to really work with you on whatever protocols they have in place with you, whether it's opening up methylation pathways or detoxing or whatever it is, to start building your resilience so you can handle a little more exposure. And that, you know, between the doctors and what we've seen, it's incredibly possible for people to feel better without necessarily having to go live in the woods, right? Live in a tent somewhere, which is what you see sometimes, unfortunately, these kind of like extreme things happening in Facebook groups and stuff where it's like, it's not possible, mold's everywhere, you can't get rid of it, I need to go live in a tent in the woods. I've like literally seen this. I've had a client who was camping in their backyard because they thought that. And then at the end of it, guess what? They didn't have to camp in their backyard anymore, right? And so there's processes, there's a flow to this, and there's a process to this, and it's really comes back to the diagnosis component of it, because if you're not finding the problems and then creating a plan that's going to reduce those problems, meaning you come in and maybe you're just doing air testing in rooms, you're not really finding like where the sources are located that are contributing. You know, you could fog your house and clean your house all day long, but if you don't find the origin points, the factories that are pumping this stuff in continuously, it's a battle that feels like you can't win. And then I think that's why you start seeing these conversations in these public forums, because, you know, people just haven't found the help from experts to really be able to help them identify it in that way.